All right, peace. We're gonna go into another discussion or a sit down talking about boxing. Something that I've been following for a long time. Okay, as you can see on the screen, we got two fighters, and the conversation that I'm having today is, in my opinion, who is the better fighter? And I'm gonna start with Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney is a phenomenal talent, and I'm glad that I think he's like the second youngest undisputed lightweight champion. I think that's what they were saying when he won it from Cambosis when they unified the belts. He's a slick boxer that uses a pretty good jab. He know how to close the distance. He can fight going backwards and things of this nature. He's very talented. You know what I'm saying? But I think the flaws with Devin Haney is that Devin Haney does not have what you would call an identity. And well, what you mean by that? Devin Haney sometimes he wants to be a slick boxer, and then sometimes he wants to knock people out. And then a couple of times, like in his couple of fights, he's been trying to put people out of commission. And he can't do that is because the rumor is with him is that he may not have power at 135 is because he's not he's stripping himself when he lose the weight to make 135. So, and he also made the statement that sometimes it's a struggle for him to make 135. And it's probably a struggle for him to make 135 is because he probably not really a 135 pounder. He's probably maybe like 140. And then as he get older, he may end up being a 147 pounder, right? So maybe the reason why he doesn't possess power like that is because he has to strip himself so much to make the weight. And I think like when in boxing, you have to develop that, just like Aaron Superman Davis said, that you have to develop an identity when you reach a certain type of age. And see, when you try to have an identity when you're an adult, especially when you are a boxer, when you're a professional boxer and you're getting paid, sometimes it can pose a problem for you. It's because a lot of times you will be doing things out of your character that's really not you. And I think with him at 135 pounds, sometimes him trying to knock people out is not really his character. See, that's not him. If he's going to be a boxer, then that's who he needs to be. Now, he has knockouts on his record, so that means that he has power to make people respect him. See? So a lot of times, like with people that don't possess great knockout power, a lot of times you can make a person respect you by simply hitting them in a certain spot to make them respect you. You know what I'm saying? So if that make any sense. So I think like with Devin Haney, sometimes he may suffer from quote unquote boxing identity crisis because I don't believe that he really has an identity. And see, another thing too, a lot of times when you want something so bad, you can let the crowd and the media play into your demise just as well, because the rumor is on him is that he's a great fighter, but he doesn't possess knockout power. And see, a lot of times you can be very entertaining without knocking people out. And how do you do that? You do that by simply throwing a lot of punches in volumes. And you don't necessarily have to knock nobody out, but the sweet science of boxing is basically hitting people without being hit. You know, the greats like Willie Pep and Pernell Whitaker and, a lot of people that didn't possess real knockout power, they will beat you on points. And see, back to Pernell Whitaker, he, I wouldn't say that he didn't possess knockout power, but he chose to be a boxer. That was his identity. That's what he liked. He liked to make people miss and pay. You know what I mean? So when I look at Devin Haney, this is what I see when I see him. Because when he fought Victor Postal, he talked to Victor Postal after the fight and asked him how does he rate his power. See, a boxer, at the caliber as a person like Devin Haney, should not be asking another boxer how powerful is his power, his punching power. And the reason why he's asking that is because he doesn't have confidence in his punching power. And see, that can pose a psychological problem in the future once he starts to face tougher competition. Because now he's the undisputed world champion, and it's going to be people that's going to be gunning for him. So if he has these issues now with does he possess power or not, that can pose an issue with him because, see, and a lot of times you may bite off more than you can chew. Is because if you let people rattle you like that, if he gets into a fight with a person that has power, this can be a potential problem for him, is because now he's outside of his element, and what he's doing is he's trying to prove to himself and to the fans and to the fighter that he's fighting that he has power. So a lot of times you gonna stand in the pocket and try to possess the power that you had, and see, a lot of times that can pose what you would call a problem for him. And you may run into somebody that has power that can really hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't possess that type of power. So I would say that Devin Haney at the lightweight division, I would have him as an A- fighter, but I say that he has what you would call, he has an identity crisis because he's still battling with the demons of him possessing knockout power. Now, let's talk about Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a phenomenal talent just as well. Tank Davis can do the same things as Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? He can box, he can move around the ring, he has quickness. And I would say out of the two, I would say that Tank Davis probably is a little bit more quicker than Devin Haney. And they all know each other is because I think, Tank Davis, he's 27, he's a little bit older than those guys, but they all came up in the same arena. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe Devin Haney pretty much grew up at the Floyd Mayweather boxing gym. You know what I'm saying? And this is where Tank Davis ended up making his bones at the Floyd Mayweather boxing gym, right? So they know each other. They done sparred against each other countless of times. You know what I mean? But when we look at Tank Davis is a phenomenal fighter. And what's so devastating about Tank Davis is that not only can he box, but also he possesses what you would call knockout power. He's an individual. He has come into before he made it big. He was already he had already had an identity. And what is his identity? His identity is that what? He's a bruiser. See? He's a bruiser. He's a bruising fighter that like to wear down his opponent and knock them out with punches. But see, what I like about Tank Davis is that Tank Davis is not just a bruising fighter. If he runs into a person that got just as much power as he does, he has the ability to adapt and change up his game plan. Just like when he fought Rolly. Rolly is a knockout guy. So when they fought each other, Tank Davis wasn't trying to walk him down and bruise him. Tank Davis was basically using angles and doing things of this nature, trying to set up a situation where he can't hit him with a big shot. See, this is what, and see, Tank Davis, we don't give him a lot of credit for this, but he's a very smart boxer just as well. So when I look at the two, if they was to fight, in my opinion, I think that Tank Davis right now, at the age of 27, I would give Tank Davis the nod is because Tank Davis can box. He could do a lot of things in the ring, but a lot of times he chooses to set people up for the knockout shot is because that's the identity that he has. See, he don't have a problem. He's never been criticized for not being a good boxer. The only thing that Tank Davis is being criticized of is fighting against the top lightweights in his division. That's the only knock that I have on Tank Davis. And also another knock that I had on Tank Davis is that I don't think when he signed with Floyd Mayweather Promotions, that I don't think that he was really dedicated like he once was. I don't think that he was very dedicated when he signed with Floyd and them. Is because I think that Floyd kind of did that to him just as well, is because Floyd gave him a lot of things like, $100,000 Rolexes and, all this money. And I think like, dude to get in there and he'll knock people out and make a name for himself. But I think as far as him, just being dedicated to the sport and taking on the best competition out there, I don't think that he was really ready for that. And I said this on my Facebook page that if he was to fight against somebody that was just as good as him, he can lose and potentially get himself hurt, is because we saw him a couple of years ago that his biggest problem was focus and making weight. And it's been a couple of times where he lost his titles, I think at 126 and 130 on the scale, see? Or 130 or 135. See, his issue was always weight. You know what I'm saying? Making the weight properly. And this is one of the reasons why I think that Floyd Mayweather took his time in terms of putting him in precarious situations, is because he knew that Tank Davis was a very good fighter and that he's the goods, but his thing is what? Focus. Now, out of the two, Devin Haney is more focused in terms of keeping himself in shape, always being in boxing shape and things of this nature. He's more focused in that area than Tank Davis. But now we see, because Tank Davis is starting to see the bigger picture, that for one, he's a cash cow, and out of the two, he's the A side. And see, this is huge, ladies and gentlemen. This is huge. Tank Davis, if they fight tomorrow, Tank Davis is going to get majority of the purse. Well, why do you say that? It's because Tank Davis is a pay-per-view star. He has never unified his division. Yeah, he done won titles in weight classes, but he ain't never unified the division. And Tank Davis has never fought against an A-level opponent. He has never fought against an A-level opponent. And he still generates a lot of people coming to his fights. On his worst day, he's still going to grab between 200,000 or 300,000 people that's going to come, that's going to watch him on pay-per-view. That's on his worst day. So here it is. Devin Haney is the new undisputed world lightweight champion, and he still does not have a fan base like this guy. See, you know a person is special like this when he comes out to fight and Madonna comes to the fight. Madonna is an icon in the music industry. She comes to see Tank Davis fight. All of the big time people come see this man fight. So like on my last video, I made the statement that even though Devin Haney is a unified champion, Tank Davis and Lomachenko are still the superstars of the division. And that's a fact, see? And I don't care what nobody's talking about. They are still the A side. If Lomachenko fight against Devin Haney, Lomachenko may make majority of the money than Devin Haney, is because why? Because he still is a highly sought after boxer. Everybody loves Lomachenko. See? And when you have star quality like that, the skies is the limit for you. And see, Lomachenko and Tank Davis, they don't have an identity crisis. The only knock that I would say that's on Tank Davis is he dependable? Is he focused? See, when I see him walking around at 160 pounds or 180 pounds, some people done said that he done ballooned all the way up to 200 pounds. See, that's not a person that's being focused. Now, this new Tank Davis that we starting to see now, he's focused. See, he comes to the gym every day. He's working out. He's monitoring what he's eating. See, all this type of stuff. See, he's focused. It's because he wants to, his whole thing is he wants to come out of the shadows of Floyd Mayweather Jr. See, he don't want to be recognized as an individual that, you know, that he's quote unquote a byproduct of Floyd Mayweather. See, he wants to be bigger than Floyd Mayweather. So I like the position that he's taking now is that he's more serious about his career and his legacy. But see, here's the thing about Tank Davis. You can be serious and you can be dedicated all you want to. If you don't fight people like Devin Haney, right, Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, if Shakur Stevenson moves up to 135 pounds, if he doesn't fight those guys, his legacy is tarnished. And I'm just saying that right now because these people are in his division and he has yet to fight these people. As great as this guy is, and he has the ability to crush any one of these guys, see, is because he's not just a knockout guy. He is a person that has a lot of tools in the toolbox. He's what you would call a blue collar fighter, and see, he's not just flash and you know, he's just not flash. He's a fighter. See, he's a fighter. I can see him being in tip-top shape, and he gets into a fight with a top level fighter. You're gonna have to fight this guy because he's a blue collar fighter, man. He comes to fight. See, and we see the proof in the pudding when he knocked out Rolly. He hit him going backwards, and I don't even think that he hit him as hard as he hit what's his name, Santa Cruz. See, when he hit Santa Cruz, he flatlined him. You know what I'm saying? And he just barely touched Rolly, and Rolly was gone, man. Rolly was still hurt when he walked outside to the dressing room. I seen him. He had to hold on to his father, you know. That's how hard this man hit. So what do I think is going to happen if these two guys fight? And let me hit you with something. Tank Davis don't have to call out Devin Haney. Devin Haney has to go get Tank Davis. In order for Devin Haney to be considered a great fighter, he's going to have to fight these two guys before he moves up to 140 pounds. He's going to have to fight these guys. Every time these guys is on social media, he has to be on social media. Every time these guys is at the fights, he's going to have to be at the fight. He's going to have to make these fights. But in my opinion, if these two guys fight right now, who do I have to win? I got Tank Davis. I think that Tank Davis' experience and the fact that he's a bruising fighter, I don't think that Tank Davis will respect Devin Haney's power. And I think that Devin Haney, he probably will be winning the first couple of rounds on points. It's because sometimes Tank Davis is a slow starter. I can see Devin Haney winning on points the first 5 or 6 rounds. But as the fight progresses, but see, when Devin Haney is winning those rounds, you better believe that he's going to be feeling the punching power of Tank Davis. He's gonna feel that. And as the rounds progress, the second half, dealing with what you call the 7th round up into the 12th round, this is when I think that Tank Davis is gonna he's gonna turn on the gas, and he's gonna hurt Devin Haney, because within those 6 rounds, I can see this. Devin Haney probably will be winning the fight. He's gonna win on points, but he's gonna pay a price by winning on points. And you know why? It's because, like I said, he doesn't have an identity. He don't have an identity. See, he's not going to stick to the game plan. And even if he sticks to the game plan, let's say he stick to the game plan, his father tell him, look, man, box him and get out of there. Tank Davis is just as quick as this guy. Even when he's boxing and getting out of there and being slick, he's going to feel the wrath and the power of Tank Davis. He's going to wear him down. Wherever he's going, Tank Davis is going to be there. See, this is not going to be a cat and mouse game. It's because why? Tank Davis does not possess knockout power like that. So as he's winning on points, Tank Davis is going to be right there, and he's going to make him feel those shots. Devin Haney is going to try to hold him and things of this nature. And you know what's going to happen? Tank Davis is going to be hitting him with little sharp shots to the ribs, and he's going to hit him with sharp shots to the head. See, and then that 7, 8, 9, and 10 round is because another thing too. When you're being hit, it's gonna weigh you, it's gonna make you tired, and all it's gonna take is one good shot to the head. And Tank Davis is I see this fight going maybe no farther than 11 rounds. I don't see it going 12. I don't see it going 12. And if it goes 12 rounds, Tank Davis is going to come out as the victor by unanimous decision, because he's going to hurt he's going to hurt Devin Haney a couple of times, maybe knock him down. See? So my opinion in this fight, which it has to happen between these guys, I see Tank Davis winning by unanimous decision. I mean, split decision, not unanimous, but split decision. Or he's going to knock Devin Haney out around the 9th or the 10th round. With that being said, peace.